Good morning, everyone. My name is Steve Bikini. I'm in outside sales and Great Acres Folsom store, and I want to welcome you to my U-Pick orchard here in beautiful Brentwood, California. What we're going to look at today are some many fruits, varieties that we do sell at Green Acres in Folsom, and I want to show you what we're picking this time of year. Right now it's May, spring of 2022. What I'm standing next to right here, are loquats. These are the Big Jim variety loquats. These are ripe right now at this time. I get a lot of customers that love to pick these. These are very great tasting loquats. They're kind of unusual taste, more of a tropical mango type taste. But these are beautiful trees and beautiful fruit on these. You can tell that these trees are low. We work pretty hard here in our family-run orchard to make sure our trees are staying low, so all the fruit that you can pick without a ladder. Okay, so right now I've got 37 trees of loquats that are producing fruit. Over here to my left, to my right, we're going to look at some pluots. So these are Flavor King Pluots. Pluots are a hybrid between an apricot and a plum. Very good, very juicy tasting apricot. You can see they're coming ripe right now, and these are a big favorite for our customers that come into our family-owned farm. Also in this block, I use Santa Rosa plums as a pollinator. So there's approximately 6 or 7 Santa Rosa trees within this pluot block, and I use that for a pollinator. All right, on my right-hand side, I have a large block of cherries. These are a really fan favorite to pick in the spring, this time of year. I have 5 rows of coral champagne on an extremely dwarfing rootstock. The rootstock's called Isla 6. Coral champagnes are a really great variety of cherry, and we do have that at Green Acres. The next 5 acres are a variety called Black Pearl. Black Pearl is a relatively new cherry variety. It's larger than the coral champagne, a darker color, and also a heavier producer. All right, this is a Black Pearl cherry tree. It's you can see that this cherry is really much darker than the coral champagne, and it's very sweet. This variety is very heavy producer. You can see all the cherries on the tree. This is a real good customer favorite, and we do have a lot of these trees here at this time. Now, scattered throughout this block of black pearls, I do have a pollinator. I use Brooks cherries as a variety as a pollinator, and also Tulare. One other thing I'd like to point out is our irrigation system. We use drip irrigation system on all our rows here. This allows us to do a deep root watering on all our trees, but yet still keep the rows nice and dry where you can walk through and still do any type of weed control that you need to do on it. All right, I'm going to move over to my right here, and we're going to go into the apricot section. All right, I have 2 rows of apricots here. These variety is called Poppy. It's very similar to a Katy variety that we sell at Green Acres in Folsom. The rootstock I use for these apricots is a citation rootstock, a very vigorous rootstock for this variety of apricot. Right now, we just picked all these apricots last week, so you can see I don't have any on the trees right now, but these were a really good crop this year. Very healthy crop. Again, you can see that these trees are pruned to keep them low, so the fruit will stay low, and all the fruit you can pick from ground level. Hi, what I'm showing here is our nectarine trees. We have one row of nectarines that goes the length of the orchard. And then on this side, we have 7 rows of white peaches. And these are just coming ripe right now. And these are, the peaches are, variety is Arctic Star. And that one is coming ripe right now. I think we're gonna be able to pick these next weekend. But you can see how large they're swelling up right now. They're looking beautiful. We really need some warmer weather to get these for the sweetness to get into the tree, into the fruit itself. One thing I want to show you is that you may have some peaches at home that you're growing a peach tree, but you'll notice that there'll be a big cluster of fruit on the limb. When the peaches become ripe, they're going to be quite small because you have so much fruit on there. What you need to do, and usually this happens in April, you want to do some thinning on the tree. What we tried to do is thin out most of the fruit on the limb, and we'd like to have peaches 6 inches apart on the limb. So if you just keep that in mind when you're doing your thinning, keep them 6 inches apart. You will have nice large fruit as they become ripe in May and June. All right, we're going to be moving over to my last cherry block over here. Now these cherries right here, these are called Lapins. Lapins is basically a self-pollinating Bing cherry, where again we're using useless 6 rootstock or extreme dwarfing rootstock to keep the trees low and the fruit low for picking without ladders. I really like the Lapin variety. They're a Bing-like cherry, and you get a very heavy crop on these trees. I do have a few pollinators here, but these are Lapins are really a self-pollinating variety. So if you have room for one cherry tree, consider going with a Lapin. You'll have a heavy crop of cherries, and they'll be they'll look and taste just like Bings. Now on our family farm, we have a real favorite here. These are Blackberries. This variety is a lolly blackberry. And you can see I have 3 rows that are built up like a hedge, and I have them on both sides of us here. These are very heavy producers. If I can come and show you some of these. Now that's a lolly blackberry. These are fairly easy picking. Some of these vines do have some stickers on them, but they're not really that long. They're not going to hurt you. But what you would do is just twist and pop a ripe berry right off the vine. And if they're all black, no red on that at all, that's a very ripe berry. Now one thing about these berries is that they're going to produce fruit on the second year of the canes that you see here. So all these canes that I have berries on, in the next 2 months, what we're going to do is we're going to pull these canes down off the trestle. We'll be removing these older canes, the darker older canes that produce fruit, and we're going to tie up these new canes that are chartreuse color. These brand new canes are going to be what's going to produce fruit for next year. So we'll be removing these older canes and replacing them with these new canes. We'll wrap them up, and every month during the summer you're going to have new growth on the canes, so we'll just wrap them back up, tie them back up, and we'll have a nice hedge of new canes for next year's fruit. And as you can see, we get fruit on both sides of these trellises. Usually the morning sun side, which is the east side right here, this is the fruit that's going to ripen first during the day. So the pickers that come out, people that love blackberries, they'll start on this side of the trestle in the morning, and then in the afternoon they'll go back to the west side to get more ripe fruit. The first two rows that I have of the orchard right here, closer to the road, I've got Apriums on one row here, and the next row over is an apricot. The apricot variety is called Rojo apricot. That's very similar to a Katy apricot. Again, we're using extremely dwarfing rootstock to keep the trees low so the fruit can be picked very easily. Now, an Aprium is a hybrid between a plum and an apricot, like a Pluot, but this is 75% apricot and 25% plum. So it looks like an apricot as it's ripening, but it has a much sweeter taste when it's ripe and ready to pick. Let's go inside and look at the Rojo apricot. All right, I picked a Rojo apricot. You can see it's much larger than the Aprium, and inside that's a beautiful apricot. It's coming ripe around the 3rd week of May right now, and that's a really, really sweet apricot. All right, thanks everyone for coming on our tour of our Bikini's fruit tree and U-pick operation here. I've showed you a lot of varieties of fruit, and a lot of these varieties are varieties that we have at Green Acres, so I encourage you all to come out.